me say good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live once more for Road to Victory, another episode. And today we are having an exclusive interview with Nigerian Beatrice Gansari. And it is going to be very much a lot of food for thought. Today being October 16th, World Food Day, a special day indeed. And we're going to be talking food today. So we're going to welcome our guests, Beatrice Gansari at this time, and then we will get right into the meat of the matter. So good afternoon to you, Miss Gansari.
Good afternoon, sir.
So nice to have you with us from all the way in Nigeria. Oh
Yes.
my. How is it there? How is the weather there?
Oh, very hot today. The rainy
Oh
seasons
boy.
are coming to an end, so we have much rain than sunshine during the day.
Okay. We just take that nice intro music out the background there. Good to have you again. So this evening we are going to be talking about your road to victory. And, you know, it is so good that we can communicate from so far. And, I know that you do a lot of great work because I came across your work actually on TikTok and the TikTok platform. And what caught my attention was this shea butter. This we're gonna see a video of it as we go on. This little, and I was like, these women are strong. I never knew that it was a young lady behind such hard work. So this evening, I am happy to have you sharing your story with us. And as we get into the meat of the matter, we're going to just start with a video. What caught my attention at first. All right, we're just having a little glitch, Right, we wanted to show the video of the shea butter there, but it seems to be having some problems there. Okay, it's not starting. All right, we're going to continue.
Okay.
Right, we're having some issues with the video, but we will continue. All right, so let's talk about your road to victory. Now, let's talk about you a bit. People usually don't get a chance to know the persons behind these great operations. They usually just see the product, but they don't get to know the person. So let's talk about you. Who is Beatrice Bona Gansari?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on your location. I'm Beatrice Gansari, and I'm an entrepreneur and an agropreneur. I'm also a public health professional. So I'm also a farmer because I have
Mm-hmm.
and we help you connect directly to the farm. So that makes me an agropreneur. But
Okay, very good.
okay,
Go ahead. Tell us. We want to know about you. We want to get to know you.
okay. As a public health professional, I'm so much interested in sickle cell disease, reducing the burden of sickle cell disease in Nigeria. I've done a number of researches in that field and then some interventions because when we come to rural areas, we have very little awareness concerning sickle cell disease, and it is something that is very rampant in Nigeria. And one of the interventions the government, or I will say people, encourage people to do in Nigeria is, or let me say Africa in general, is to do premarital counseling and do premarital testing for compatibility. So that is a way we
Okay,
can reduce the burden of sickle cell disease. So it's a great
very,
pleasure coming here. Thanks.
very good. It's good to have you. Good to have you. So, the next question will be obviously, you're an educator, you're a public health specialist. I know that you are one of Nigeria's scholars. What field did you have you excelled in terms of your academics?
I would say that originally I was a human physiologist, but for my master's degree, I went for a degree in public health because I'm interested in reducing the burden of sickle cell disease. That's one of the reasons why I went for a master's in public health. So,
Okay.
as a public health, I would say that I've prospered as a public health professional because I do part-time lecturing. Find my degree, my first degree as a physiologist gives me an edge over the, let me say, health field. But my degree in public health gives me an upper hand. So I will say that I love public health, and that is something that has I've really prospered in. Though I look forward to doing more because there's a lot to do, there's a lot to learn. And with business entrepreneurship, it's a bit difficult, but I try to incorporate public health because when you see as an entrepreneur, because when poverty hits people, they will not be able to live healthy lives. So it's the field of public health. I would say I have prospered the more.
I think that is a very good idea to mix, to be able to see the connection between good health and, even though for a business person, which most business people don't really pay a lot of attention to their health. They usually just focus on making money, getting the products out to the customer or the service. And usually a business person only stops when they break down. I know that I am experiencing that area that you keep going and going and going and going, but it's really good how you have been able to blend your skills, your knowledge, and then create even a businesses out of it actually. Now, I know that as a woman, it probably is very different for you. I would say that word different, right? And we're going to talk about that shortly. Let me see if it would allow me. No, it's still not allowing me to show this video. I don't know why, but I really wanted to see it, but it is not allowing me to see it. Let me try one more time. No, it's not. Okay, we have a glitch there. So let's continue without it. So, haven't you meant, yeah, you spoke about the need to take care of people in terms of public health and so on. And so why did you choose to add to that? Because that in itself is a big field. I know the medical field is huge. A lot of work involved, is very technical, a lot of years of studying. Then to do the actual work. Why did you choose to add now entrepreneurship onto that already hard part?
Well, I would say that entrepreneurship found me because I started 2017 during my master's program. I never had the intention of going into business or entrepreneurship or farming or anything, but I will say that I used to have a colleague who loved kuli kuli spicy. It's one of the products I sell. That was my first product I introduced to the business that made me start business. So the man will buy kuli kuli on the express road where like thousands of cars pass, and a lot of microbes, dirt, dust entering into the food he will consume. So when the man picks me, I'll be like, oh, don't buy this. This is not looking healthy. This can give you, diarrhea or something. He will be like, because it was an older folk, he will be like, I have been eating this before you were born. I said, yes, I know, but I can surely give you something better. He was like, okay, let's see. Because where I come from, we make the best spicy kuli kuli. Spicy kuli kuli is a snack in the northern Nigeria. It's predominantly made in the northern Nigeria. So I told him that don't worry, I'm going to get you spicy kuli kuli any moment I go home. So when I went for holiday or just for a break, I brought him kuli kuli. He loved it, and in his office, he shared it to everybody, and they were like, "Oh, please, can we get that kuli kuli? Can we get that kuli kuli?" And that was how I started. I started making more. I started making more. Then from his office, I started selling to my classmates. Then from my class to the department, from the department to the faculty, then the whole school. When as at the time I finished, I had like, let me say like 15 vendors who used to market my spicy kuli kuli for me. So I'll say that it was because of spicy kuli kuli, because I didn't want him to be eating something not healthy. In my own sight, to him it was nothing, but to me I felt something that is not that is exposed, that is not made in a hygienic environment should not be consumed by a health professional like him. But he didn't care. So from Kuli Kuli, I started adding more products, and now we have about 7 to 9 products we sell now.
Right, we're going to see this coolie coolie shortly, but it's interesting that your business started from helping someone solve a health issue, and that is really good. And that is how successful businesses are always started, by solving a problem, always. And the ones that actually make it to the end, or you would say that are profitable and do well, are the ones that um, solve problems. So that was a lot of wisdom you used there, and you made the right move for me at the right time, right? So now we go on to the next question then. Life as a woman agripreneur. Now, as I said earlier, is different. Obviously, we know it is different. What is we see the company there, Surreal Foods and Shea Butter Limited. What is your role or roles in this company? What do you do in this company?
Okay. In Cereal Fruits and Shea Butter Limited, by the grace of God, I'm the CEO, but I still support my team members in mainly getting clients. Then sometimes I'm involved in packaging goods, like shea butter has to be packaged in a special way. So sometimes you train people. I'm involved in training the team, because each time you get a new member, the new member will have to be trained, especially in production, packaging, and transportation and all that. So as the CEO, I also support my team in packaging, in marketing, and so many other things. So sometimes we do purchases in the market, because for share nuts, we purchase share nuts, because you cannot have share nuts yourself. You cannot plant the trees yourself. So we get supplies almost every week, new supply of share nuts every week. So I'm also involved sometimes with getting supplies, and other things.
Okay, very good. So how do you go about making this business work? What do you have to uniquely do to get this work? I could just imagine. I'm sorry we didn't get to see the video, but I know it have to be a very hard job. And I'm a man, and I'm saying that. So how do you as a woman go about making it happen?
I don't get you. Can you come again?
Okay, so how are we trying to find out from you? How do you make things work together? What do you do uniquely as a woman, to make this business work?
Well, I will say that this is a business, especially in Nigeria, specifically for women. It is because shea butter production, especially when we come to shea butter production is tedious. And I will say that for you to be able to produce shea butter, especially the handcrafted shea butter, which is the best. You get the best shea butter mainly from handcrafted shea butter. It's a lot of efforts because you rarely find men in this business because it needs a lot of patience, a lot of efforts, and a lot of hard work. Men are muscular, they have the strength, but when we talk about
Mhm.
endurance, there's a way that women could endure pain, could be patient to put things together. Because when we talk about the monetary value of the products, is not commensurate with the products that is produced. But one beautiful thing about shea butter is that it is so wonderful. We can use shea butter for more than 100 things. And I will say that that gives one joy because if we say the efforts we put into shea butter production, it's massive. And I feel that it could only be a woman who can really be patient enough to do that and to go through those processes and properly put that best shea butter up. Because when you are producing shea butter and you are not careful, you can run to a loss because at the grilling stage, when you burn it, you waste your shea nuts, and that will be all, and you will not be getting the best quality. So, for best quality, you need patience, you need hard work, and you need endurance. That is it.
Wow,
So I would say that that is unique to women. I'm not saying men are not patient, but I'm saying that that is a craft that can be done by women, and for her to be consistent and stay years doing that thing. I guess few men can do that. So
I mean, you don't have to be shy in saying that the majority of us men are not patient because our nature is to just get it over with, get it done, like done with that. We will cut down the tree instead of picking the beans. So because we just want them done, we don't have the time to go out there and pick one and pick one. No, 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 no. So it is good when a woman bring her uniqueness to a business, not just seeing it from gender, but those unique traits that you talk about. So you mentioned about pain, women being able to handle pain, patience. How do you feel though as a woman doing this? As a woman in business, how does it make you feel?
well, I'll say that I naturally have these traits that make it effortless for me. That is just what I'll say. It's a trait that is in me. It's innate, and it just flows. It's not like you have to multitask in the business. You have to multitask. You might have to be doing like three, four things at a time. And I will say that that is a trait that is sometimes, or let me say, like to a higher percentage, unique to women, because few men can multitask at a time, and this is something you do on a regular basis. So it is just something that I will say, as a woman, the traits in innate traits and everything in me has been a strength to the success of this business.
Very good. Very good to hear that. So, are there any regrets? Are there any times that you feel discouraged? How do you handle the days that don't go well? I mean, what do you do to keep going?
Well, everything is, uh, life is not a bed of roses. So my team has been very supportive, I must say. My team has been very supportive, but we know that life is not a bed of roses. So when challenges come, we look into it and we sort it out. That's all. But you see, it has not been. We have an enabling environment. One of the greatest challenge we have is logistics, and because sometimes when you will build things, you'll be stressed. Probably you don't know. the logistic company might not deliver on time, thereby delaying delivery. But we thank God they don't lose our goods. It only gets delayed. So we just learn from those experiences and show our customers, our clients that, oh, please, in case there is a delay, never worry. You will surely get your goods. And even if there is probably a delay that will really affect the customer, then we give you another order and retrieve the other one. So we we are responsible, and we make up for anything that goes wrong. And whatever, it's not beyond control. That's what it has always been. It's not
So
beyond
one more
control.
question about the life of a as a woman entrepreneur in Nigeria, but Africa, Nigeria, in your context, is it allowed for women to freely run a business, become a carry the positions of CEO, and do you get any challenges, any stigma from men, any discrimination? How is that environment for you as a woman?
Well, sure, sure. As a woman, not only a business, but being in high positions has been a bit tasking because a young man who is not of your age and even your status or your level might be respected when you are not known. So as a woman, people feel that oh, who is she? Or what's her problem? This ego, because one of the things I do again to be on the safer side as a woman, and as a woman in Nigeria, if you truly want to prosper, you should put the men. It's not like you will not be firm. It is very important that you are firm because if you are not, you'll be taken advantage of. So for example, let me just give an example. When we go to the market and we buy yam flour, because yam flour is brought directly by farmers. When we go to the farm and we want to buy yam flour, and they see you as a woman that, oh, you have so much money, they might use style like, oh, they want to use style to wink at you, toast you, such things. That happens very often. It happens very often, and you must be firm. That is just one thing. You must be firm. There are times you'll be looked down on. There are times you'll be looked down on. There are times that your voice will not count. But I feel that you should just ignore such circumstances, such times, move forward. Wherever you are supposed to speak out, speak out. And when it's not necessary to speak, you just let it be. And that's all.
Okay, very good, very good. So it teaches you even to be stronger, not just in terms of the business, but as a person.
Yeah.
That is very okay. So let's try to right. So now we are going to the products now. I know that you mentioned the spicy coolie coolie first. So we're going to look at that one first. Wow, there it is. Yes. When I saw this at first, it was like, what is this thing? What is this thing? I've never seen this in my, I've seen similar, but I wasn't sure what it was. So walk us through what is spicy coolie coolie.
Okay. Spicy kuli kuli is it's a snack made in northern Nigeria predominantly, and it is mainly made from granules, pure granules, and spices. When we talk about spices, we're not talking only about pepper. We have pepper and all other condiments that make up the spices. So it is mainly uh, granules that is grilled, milled into paste, then the oil extracted, and that is what gives us spicy kuli kuli. Mainly, spicy kuli kuli is fully protein, like full protein. You can make up for like 21%, or let me say like more than 10% of the protein requirements, daily protein requirements, and it's a healthy snack. It's a healthy snack.
So so you say groundnuts and it is baked or it is fried or what? How is it prepared?
It is fried. It is fried with the
Okay.
oil that is extracted. Then the oil is drained away.
So you take the groundnut, you take the oil from the groundnut, and then you use it back again to fry this.
Yeah. But
Okay,
the
so you
moment
don't have,
by the time we are frying, it solidifies. Then if there is any oil on it, it drains off before you package.
okay. So tell me about the benefits of this. You mentioned about protein so far. Um, could anyone use this? Anyone at all? I see that you have two different products here. You have a long one, and then you have something like a flat one. Could you tell us the
Yeah.
difference in it? Yeah.
Yes, okay. Unlike biscuits or other snacks that might not be as healthy for older folks, for kuli kuli, for spicy kuli kuli, we have two types. We have the long one. The long one is usually not sweetened. So usually older folks prefer that. And because older people want less sugar. So they go for
Right.
that. That is also very sweet, palatable. You'll enjoy it. But the flat one is sweetened. So it's like the long is just the condiment, the pure granite. Then the flat is sweetened a bit. And that's the difference. So the flat is sweeter compared to the long, but the two are wonderful. You can give it a try someday.
Okay. I can't wait to eat some of this. So how does this help me now in terms of my health? Eating this product, this snack.
Okay. I in Nigeria, I'll say in Nigeria, when parents are struggling to make their kids fit or eat healthy food.
Hmm. Okay, we have a pause in transmission there. We will be right back with our guest, Beatrice Gansari. Just waiting for her to come back in. All right, we're still frozen. I'm just waiting for her to return to us to continue this discussion on Surreal Foods and Shea Butter Limited. She's the CEO, and she has been doing a
What
really
happened?
good job. Okay, we froze just now, so we're going to continue from there now. Please go ahead. Right, go ahead from there.
Okay.
Okay,
So
you're back. Yeah,
instead
so
of
you're telling us about health benefits. Yeah.
yeah, I say that instead of just making your kids or eating sweet things or more of carbohydrates, you go for protein, you know, protein. And for parents who usually want to give their children snack or they want something healthy, I encourage it. Okay, instead of giving your children biscuits and chocolates alone, you can include spicy kuli kuli because spicy kuli kuli it's like 80% protein, and the child can have spicy kuli kuli, then biscuits, then chocolates. A variety is better than taking a single thing every time. And since
Right.
protein is healthier than taking more of carbohydrates and sugar, then I usually encourage that as a person or even as parents, you can introduce spicy kuli kuli to your snack. That will be a healthy addition.
Okay, very good. I guess that you don't have enough of those at times. People probably run behind them and grab at them a lot. Huh?
Sure, sure.
Okay, okay, good. Looking really good. I love the golden color. I'm just like, I just can't wait to taste some of this coolie coolie. Spicy coolie
Okay.
coolie. You might
You
have
will
to
love
remove the pepper for me though, but it is okay. I might be able to get around that.
it's not so spicy. It's not so spicy.
Okay,
Just
okay, okay. Okay. So let's go to your other product now.
okay.
All right. So the big one, the big boy, the shea butter. This is
Yes.
the big giant one now. So I saw
Yeah.
the video, and I knew of shea butter from, we have a product in the Caribbean known as Palmer's. Palmer's is a cream, and they usually would have shea butter in it. I know shea butter has this lovely scent that we love and so on, and that cream is used by a lot of people who suffer from dry skin and so on, and it works really well in the Caribbean. I mean, it's not as popular now as before because people go for the more fancier names, but I know that that is one cream that works really well, and I was surprised, as I said, when I came across TikTok to see, hey, this thing is created from a tree, a little nut, and I'm like, wow. So let us talk shea butter now. Let us talk about shea butter.
Okay. So you see, for shea butter, I call shea butter the wonder oil. The wonder oil. Why do I call it the wonder oil? Because shea butter has numerous uses. For example, I have a video on my TikTok. You can check it out. When you have pains, probably in the muscle or in the joints, or for people who have dislocation or fracture or any sort of pain in the body. In the ancient times, like in Nigeria, it's a special oil that is used for massaging because the moment you use shea butter to massage probably the muscles or the bones, it has a way that it enhances healing. Let me say like 10 times faster than other neurogesic or any other thing that you can mention or that is used because for example, you had a stressful day, you feel pains all over your body. Instead of going for pain relief or an analgesic, you would just have to have a warm shower, then massage with shea butter. You might not need to massage, but you can just cream yourself, like rub all over the parts that you feel the pains with shea butter. And I tell you, the next morning, you will sleep and snore. You will surely sleep like a baby. And
Wow.
when we talk about wound healing, shea butter plays a very great role in wound healing. Yeah, when you have a probably a cut, not probably a terrible one, but when you have a cut, you can just rinse the cut to make sure that it's sterile, it's not exposed to any form of microbes. Then you apply shea butter slightly. You do that today, you do that tomorrow. By the third day, the wound will surely heal. It hastens wound healing. Let me say, if it is a fresh cut, it can heal wound in less than 72 hours. In less than 72 hours. And for many people, they know about the cosmetic use and the cosmetic company. A lot of cosmetic company use shea butter as the main base. And when we talk about anti-aging, shea butter plays a great role in anti-aging, and that is why in most anti-aging creams or formulations, you will see shea butter as part of the ingredients of the products. And another thing is that shea butter also heals a sores in the stomach. Like though that's not scientifically proven yet, but I'll say in Nigeria, I've heard a number of customers that come back and say, "Oh, I because and we have two different types of shea butter. We have the raw organic shea butter. We have the refined shea butter. Another thing is that the raw organic is sometimes adulterated. So it's important that really, if you want to enjoy all the benefits of shea butter, you go for the raw organic unrefined shea butter. And most times I encourage my customers that it's better you buy shea butter when you know that it is made fresh. Because when shea butter is freshly processed, you get more from it compared to when it has been processed for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Because shea butter can stay for as long as 5 to 6 years below room temperature and can stay up to 24 months under room temperature without getting spoiled. So it has a very long shelf life. So because of that, those who export it take advantage of this and give many people shea butter that is not freshly processed, that has been processed probably for a long time. So that's one of the reasons I tell my clients that you see, when you get your organic shea butter from Cereal Foods and Shea Butter, we process our shea butter weekly, giving you the best everything. All the nutrients you need in the shea butter is retained when it is fresh, and that is just it. We have a lot
Wow.
of benefits. It also helps remove dark knuckles, removes dark knuckles. If I use shea butter for the last 4 years, that's what I use my skin and my hair, and it is so healthy.
Okay, so you mentioned hair. You also use it in the hair as well.
Yes.
Okay,
You
very
know,
good. I saw it in a video that you was using it to cook with, fry with. You could also use it
yes,
as it can consume it as well.
yes. You can you see organic. This is for organic shea butter. That's why I'm saying that it is important that you go for the organic raw shea butter. For the refined shea butter, you cannot use that for cooking. But when you
Okay,
get raw organic shea butter, because in chocolate production, they also use that. So when you want to use shea butter to cook, and from this, I have testimonials of customers that say, "Oh, I use shea butter to cook, and I had bleeding ulcer. It is healing up." So organic shea butter can be used for cooking as an alternative for oils, granite oil, soya oil, and others. But because it might be a bit stressful melting and other things, people might not want to use it. But if you don't have an oil at home and you just need a quick one and you have shea butter, and the one you got is raw organic.
okay, we froze again. We're having some internet issues there. This. Okay, she's back. Okay, you had just frozen a bit there again. We have some issues sometimes with the internet, and that is okay. We understood. We understand what we're doing. Just take one little quick break, as we just remind the people today that we are interviewing Miss Beatrice Bona Gansari from Cereal Foods Shea Butter Limited in Nigeria. And we are on the road to victory today. And she's telling us her story as a woman entrepreneur, an educator, and a specialist in public health. So we are back now with Beatrice. So, okay, we go on to another product now. Okay, right. This one here now, the honey, right? So I noticed that your honey is like looks so rich and so thick and so much. Tell us about this honey that you produce in Nigeria.
Okay. I want to say that in Nigeria we have two type of honey. We have the
Okay,
wild honey, and we have the wild honey, and we have the honey that is produced by bee farmers.
okay,
Wild honey, then the honey that is produced by bee farmers. For me, I have bee farmers I work with because one of the differences between honey that is produced by bee farmers and honey that is wild. When we say wild honey, it means that we have forests in Nigeria. People can just, during the dry season, when there is sun, people will go into the bushes and harvest honey from the beehive. But the honey we get from bee farmers, these are bees that have been kept by farmers mainly for the honey. So the difference is that wild honey, which is gotten from the forest, usually people are not patient to allow it stay for a long while. So mostly it is watery, and because it's not protected properly, it has a stronger smell. a stronger odor. But for the honey that is gotten from bee farmers, the honey usually as a farmer you have a plan of how long you want your honey to stay before you harvest it. So they have a duration, and that makes us get thicker honey, cleaner honey, and something with a mild smell. So I have clients that say, "Oh, I don't like the smell of honey. I don't enjoy honey because the smell is offensive." I usually suggest that, okay, why not try beef honey from beef farmers? You will enjoy that better. And for people who cannot tolerate strong smells because of the honey makes them nauseated, then honey from bee farmers have usually been a very great alternative. So the honey from the bee farmers is usually thicker, it is usually sweeter and cleaner, and also has a mild smell compared to wild honey. But when we talk about the nutritional content, it's all the same.
Okay, so I saw you doing two videos testing honey. Now that is something was completely new to me. I never knew that you can even test honey to see if it is as you call it real. Just
Original.
explain that process. Yeah.
You know, because because people are getting aware of healthy food. The people now know that it's better to eat healthy, and honey has been something people encourage. They said, okay, probably you take honey instead of sugar. Instead of taking synthetic sugar, you take honey. So because the demand is so much, people tend to adulterate it. So that is why it becomes necessary to test if the honey you have is original or is fake. Because the moment you're taking fake honey, you might be doing yourself more harm. It is better if you take sugar compared to taking a fake honey, because fake honey has a lot different things can be added to it, and you might not be able to say what they added to it. So it now becomes paramount important that you know that, oh, the honey I have is original, so that I will not be doing myself harm instead of the good I desire.
So
So
when a customer wants to buy it from you, do you do the test for them? Do they ask for this test, or you just sell it to them like that?
sometimes customers are worried, like in Nigeria, we have a lot of people taking honey, using honey, eating honey. So they are worried that, oh, I bought honey so and it's bad. I bought honey here and it's bad. So they are worried that, oh, how can I be sure that the honey I'm getting from you is original? So it became necessary because in Nigeria, we don't really have many labs that can test things for you in the food labs. So because this is an ancient thing. Many of these tests are things that have been done in the ancient days, and they are real. Because when you put the honey through those tests and they pass them, the moment you take the honey to the laboratory and they test them, it usually comes as original. So
Okay.
sometimes customers ask that, how can I trust that the honey you are selling to me is original? Then we just take a little and we test for you.
Wow. Very good. Very good. That is a very good thing to know actually, and to actually put to practice. And it is something I myself have to start trying it here. I mean, I've never ever heard about this test, and seeing it from you, it is very interesting because we have a lot of products that people make that are not authentic. And you are very right in saying that you should know and you shouldn't consume products that are not original and so on. So very good with that one. Let's go on to one more. Right. Now I was wondering before, what was this thing in this bag, this sack, right? Because
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. You know, I was wondering what it was. So talk to us about that.
Okay, thank you. You see, in Nigeria, that in the sack is called eluboishu. Eluboishu. Eluboishu mainly is it's a food predominantly consumed in the western part of Nigeria. Everybody, and those are the Yorubas. I don't know if you've heard of the Yorubas. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that other tribes don't consume the food, but it is something that predominantly consumed by Yorubas. So that in the sack is called eluboishu. And one of the benefits of eluboishu is that as you age, you might have problems with digestion. When you make eluboishu, but what the product, the food you get from eluboishu is called amala. So as an elderly person, probably very old or getting old, the moment you get to your 40s, 50s, you might start having issues. If you really need something light and not watery as a food, amala is something you should give a trial, because when it comes to consuming it, swallowing, because it's a swallow. When it comes to swallowing it, it is very easy to swallow, and the digestion is very fast. Not too fast, but it digests easily. So most times when we have the elderly, though it's not only consumed by the elderly, everybody, because this is a food that is consumed all over Nigeria, major parts, almost everywhere in Nigeria. But in the western part of Nigeria, when they do parties, a party without amala is not complete in the Yoruba land. So amala, you see, when you say the second, the other yam can be used for eluboishu, but this one in the sack is a special one for eluboishu. If you want amala with the best texture, the best color, a perfect amala, you should go for the one in the sack. So eluboishu is made used for making amala. And I have yams there. Those yams I have over there are mainly yams for pounded yam. So in my local government, those yams you see there, not in the sack, are for pounded yam. Pounded yam is yam that is boiled and pound and milled, kind of. Then the other one is used for amala, and usually it is dried, milled, then used for preparing the food.
Okay, so yams then is a food that is consumed by a lot of Nigerians then.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, and you produce these on your farm, right? Or with your team, the different farmers and so on you work with.
Yes, 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 we do.
Okay, and are they
Because
available all year?
I have the eluboy shoe, but I don't have the yams with me.
Okay, okay. So it
Yeah.
is available. How often do you get it? Is something that is seasonal or you get it all year?
Okay, the yams like available. Oh, no, 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 no. For yams, you can get yams throughout the year, but there is a season for the yam that is not in the sack. The season is usually between July to December, but the one in the sack, the season is usually between October and July. So you have
Oh,
abundance by that time. But throughout the year, people will harvest and store. There is a way you can store those products. So people store so that you can have it throughout the year.
wow, great, great. So so you said you have one with you. You have one there with you.
And I have the Eluboy shoe with me. This is the Eluboy shoe. And you have to, for Amala, for Eluboy shoe, you have to mill it. So this powdery is made in a powdered form before you use it.
Wow, interesting. We learn
Yeah.
new things every day. Wow, interesting. That is very good. And this is something I guess is in high demand also. Huh?
Yeah.
So do you do the milling for the customers, or or you just they buy it and then mill it themselves?
It depends on what the customer wants. Some customers will say, I want it mailed, then we mail for you. Some customers will say, I want it like that, then we send it like that.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. I think
Yes.
that was the last product that we would feature today. So let's right. So today we are interviewing once again Miss Beatrice Bona Gansari. She's the CEO of Surreal Foods and Shea Butter Limited in Nigeria. And she is going to, as we come to the end of our interview, we're gonna just get some good advice from her and a few more questions, and then we would end this interview for today. But know that, she is doing so much in Nigeria as a woman, and we are really celebrating with her today on World Food Day.
Thank you.
So, the next question is the way forward. Now, one of the things that I notice is that your business covers, and the work that you do and your team does, covers something like 7 of the Sustainable Development Goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, sustainable cities and communities, and climate action. And I want to take this opportunity today, being World Food Day, to truly salute you as a global citizen and doing such an amazing job as a woman at that. As you said earlier, having to deal with all of the different stigmas and threats by some persons who feel that as a woman you should not be doing such. And I think that this is so amazing to see that you set up a business coming from a simple trying to stop someone from doing something unhealthy, and then it creates into a global citizen initiative. And I'm sure that there are more that we could actually add to this, but these are the specific ones that I came across that I was like, wow, you're doing an amazing job over there in Nigeria. And again, we congratulate you and we salute you as we celebrate you on your road to victory. So what do you want to do from here going forward? What do you want to see happening?
Okay. I must say that it was not like this when I started in 2017. We move forward every day. We move forward every day. However, for the shea butter production, it is very key that we organize a modern factory. Presently, we have a factory, but it's not modernized. And in Nigeria, there is a standard for production of cosmetic because the shea butter is more of cosmetic. They categorize it as a cosmetic, though not everybody uses it as food. But as a cosmetic, there are some standards we have to meet. And really, machineries, we need machineries, machines for extraction, for production, for condensation and other things. Then organizing the factory to be a modern factory that meets international standard. It's one thing I look into. And in the future, we look forward to making an effective and affordable anti-aging cream because I really love when you are aging, but you are aging slowly. So as an entrepreneur, one of the things I look up to and in my business is formulating something that delays aging and that is affordable, that can be afforded, and many people can buy, not only by the rich, let me put it that way. Another thing is that we look forward to, because when we talk about those women who produce the shea butter, they are usually women who are supporting their families, but they don't even have the funds. As of now, when the woman comes and says, "Oh, I'm doing shea butter business, but I don't even have capital to start," we try to fix them, but we don't have the capacity to help many women, maybe 5, 10, 15. But when we increase that number, it will help to really help women to support their families, because the woman is very key in this part of the world. When men marry 4, 5, 6 wives, and the moment your husband marry other wives, he might forget about you. It becomes very paramount that a woman gets her own money to be able to take care of her own kids. And without doing something, she will not be able to afford a life for herself and her kids. So with shea butter production, we look forward to really supporting more women to be able to set up their own mini businesses that could sustain their families, that could sustain their children, and reduce hunger, poverty, and malnutrition in their homes.
Excellent vision. I love that. You've reached about 5 years in existence now. Would you say that it has been profitable to do these things that you are doing in this business?
Yes, it has been very profitable, though challenging, because when people see me, like especially in Nigeria, when I meet with people, they'll be like, "Oh, are you doing such a business, share butter business, farming?" I'll be like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm enjoying myself because it's a humble work. It's a humble work." And I would say, really, if your purpose for doing business is the money, I may say that it's you might not enjoy it. Fine is not you are making profit, but I guess for you to prosper in such a field, it's important that you are more of saving lives, helping people. Because when you look at my local government, we have 1,000 women doing this business. Sometimes after extraction, creating a beautiful product, they get to the market, and they don't get buyers. You see a woman who will be hawking like 30 kilograms of a shea butter on her head. She will trek probably 2, 3, 4 kilometers to the market, get to the market, and be hawking. And she might end up not even getting customers for that day. So as a business, we relieve them of such stress because we work as a team. We are synergy. We recruit these women, some of them, though we look forward to expanding the business, and that's why we need investors who are interested in improving the lives of people. One of the things that give me joy is that you're not just helping someone who is idle, sleeping, and wants to eat. These are women who are working very hard. A woman who is working very hard, supporting her to improve her business and increase or relieve the stress she might go through after production, working for hours without getting customers or clients to buy her shea butter is a long way. So one of my heart desires is we look forward to having more people who will cooperate with us to really help these women, help more women to be able to create wealth for their homes, to sustain their hopes and support their families.
So how can persons then contribute to what to your company or invest in your company? Or do you have a strategy in place for that?
Yeah, we have a strategy in place because for we have investors. We have something we call investors, and usually, one of the challenges in Nigeria is getting funding. One of the challenges is getting funding. So we have investors. We have a number of products you can invest in. Mainly two products you can invest in. You can invest in our organic shea butter or invest in our elubo issue. When you invest in the elubo issue, the minimum duration for investors is 3 months, but it can be as long as 3 years or more. What we do is that you invest money, then we agree on a return. We agree on the returns, and at the stipulated time that we agreed on, we can give you your dividend, or you can request for your dividend and then for your capital. Sometimes we have people who invest, collect only the dividends, and we have some that invest and collect the dividends and also collect the capital. So if you are interested, you can contact us. We communicate on how much you could invest and how long you can invest, and returns on investment.
So that is a very good system to have in place. But there's one question there now. Globally, a lot of persons have a question mark in terms of doing business in Africa and Nigeria. How have you been able to get that done in the last 5 years? What have you done to ensure that your customers know here is a trusted business that we can work with?
Well, I would say that it has been a bit difficult because our business is mainly online. Like we market our products online, though we have a factory and we have a base. But majorly, our products are sold outside our region. So we have a lot of people raising questions. How can I trust you? How can I do this? How can I do that? Sometimes we encourage that, okay, you can come and see for yourself what we are doing. That is one thing. But sometimes, if you say you cannot come and you are afraid to invest your money, you're afraid to do that. We have people who have invested. We have clients who have been doing business with us for more than 3 years who can attest for us. Another thing is that the business is registered in Nigeria. It's registered with Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria, and any business that is registered could be traced. So it's not a business that can just overnight run away. No, it could be traced, and that is one assurance. Another thing is that as the CEO of the business, I am known in my university, University of Ibadan. That is the first and the best university in Nigeria. So you can go to my department, you can go to my faculty because I started there and they are aware of the business. Some of my lecturers have done business with me and they can attest to it. But if all those things don't satisfy you, you can come and see for yourself. So that is
Okay.
one.
Very good, very good. Because I know it has to be difficult to get business done in those types of environments. And I know we discussed already the logistics. What is it for you like when you're dealing with your logistics?
You see, because I'm in the rural part of Nigeria, assuming I'm in Lagos, it will be easier. But because I'm not in Lagos, I'm outside Lagos, I'm in Kwara State, Nigeria, it has been a bit tedious. But we keep getting new logistic companies that work with us. So when we have one of the ways by which I've overcome the logistic challenges is having numerous logistic companies that work with us. So the moment this one is misbehaving, you switch, and looking at the location is going to and the client and the mode of delivery because we have a number of modes we use. It can be home delivery, it can be delivered to the nearest park, different costs and different modes. So depending on the mode the customer, the client chooses, then it will determine the type of logistics we use. But I must say, having multiple logistic companies working with you will save you a lot of stress. Because I must say, another thing we are working into and we are really one of the reasons we really we need funding. We need to have our own logistics. That is the best solution to the challenges. But for now that we don't have our own logistics, then we make use of these logistic companies we have around us.
Wow, I could imagine I've looked at some videos and I realized that moving around Nigeria could be it's a very big country. And it can be very difficult because there's so much products moving at one time. You have a population of over 241 million people. It is not easy to traverse through that,
Yeah.
I was telling some youth yesterday that, that when I think about Nigeria population and I think about my population, I'm like, we don't even exist. 100,600 compared to 241 million people, you know. And I could just imagine the road networks and how it is to really sort that out. But it is really good when you have come up with a system to really master that, and I believe that you have very good customer reviews. What are some of the things that your customers tell you?
Majority of the time, majority of the times, I have customers coming back appreciating me because one of our goals, one of our things we do in Cereal Foods and Share Butter Limited is we give you the best, whatever, whichever products we give you the best. So most of the times, I have customers coming back and telling me, "Wow, I am amazed. I never knew shea butter is like this." And you see someone just buying for herself, becoming a supplier, a distributor, because probably
Wow.
another thing we do is that because of the distance, we encourage all our customers that please to make the product the profit margin worthwhile, buy at least a minimum of 5 kilograms of shea butter or whatever product you are buying. Buy uh, uh, 5 kilograms or something, moderate, so that you can make up for the logistics. And because you cannot use 5 kilograms of shea butter in a whole year. I don't know. It depends on how you use it. So they
Mhm.
end up sharing to people. And when they give their friends or family members, they're like, wow. I have reviews on Gigi. There is a selling platform called Gigi, Jiji in Nigeria. I have a number of reviews there, and I have some customers telling me that wow, the shea butter, I bought this shea butter for my baby, but I'm using it now and it's clearing my dark knuckles. Since the time I got organic shea butter from you is unlike the one I used to have that have this bad smell, and so on and so forth. So most of the time, because I go the extra mile to give you the best. That is just, I put my energy to give you that. And my team knows that. We are known for the best. We are known for the best quality and a great quantity. We don't just give you quantity, we give you the best quality that you could find anywhere. So most of the times we've not had bad reviews, and anytime we have that, we stand up and we give you a replacement. We give you a
Okay.
replacement, or we make up. We can, for example, if you bought 2 kilograms of yam flour and you say, "Oh, I'm not satisfied with the quality," we look at, okay, probably we give you 20 kilograms more to make up for that.
Wow, that's a bit generous, but I understand you need to make sure that your customers are always taken care of well, and that is a good business principle to have, And as today we are, so much information to take in, such a good thing you are doing there. And today we have with us, Beatrice Gansari from Nigeria here on Road to Victory, sharing her story and how she has been able to move from from an academic scholar to an educator and an agripreneur and a CEO, of Surreal Foods and Shea Butter Limited. And she is doing an extremely great job, not only from her own, you know, expectations, but the customers are really talking well about it. I have had the privilege of looking at a lot of your videos and so on your social media platforms, and I can see a lot of favorable comments from your business, and it is really, 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 really good what you are doing. So let us
Thank
continue now. So so it comes down to the wire now. Having taken in all this information from you and knowing all your secrets, what advice will you give now to other people, especially in Nigeria and Africa, from your experiences on your road to victory?
Okay. I will say that whatever you set your heart in doing, you can do it big. You can really do it, because I tell women, I tell young ladies, I tell children that please, whatever you desire, whatever you put your heart to do, just be focused and you can surely accomplish that. In Nigeria, or let me say in the world, women sometimes are so dependent on men And I preach that for me, I can buy that car myself. I can buy the clothes myself. I can feed myself if need be. I'm not saying I don't want a man to do that for me, but I'm saying that because we see women staying in abusive relationships because they cannot take care of themselves because of money. You see women, ladies marrying men because of money. But I tell you that there is dignity in hard work, and the money you get from your sweat is sweeter. And I say that hard work pays. So whatever you desire to do, whatever you wish you want to do, just be focused, be prayerful. Because for me, I believe that everything, everything in this life is orchestrated by God. So I believe in prayer. Pray, but as you pray, back up your prayer with works. You have to work hard. And when you work hard, it is certain that God will surely reward your hard work with success.
Wow, I took two things, well, several more, but these two things I took especially from you. Dignity, you know, the dignity and hard work, and the money from your sweat is sweeter. You know,
Yeah.
I have to taste that money and see how much sweeter it is from my sweat. But I love that. I mean that is a very
There's a
powerful.
kind of confidence. There's a kind of confidence that comes out of making money yourself. When you buy
Yes,
A Ferrari with the money you make from your hard work, you're so proud that
yeah,
yes,
it makes difference. Huh? Come on. And you know, the key thing you said there, there's dignity in hard work, and you are absolutely correct. Hard work, you know, we have a saying in the Caribbean that hard work will not kill you, you know. Um, so there's dignity into it, not just the money. I always tell people that money is the reward of hard work. So you don't have to kill yourself for money. Just put in your work and the money will come to you. It will
sure.
come. Don't matter how long it may appear. If you put in that sweat, it will come. We cannot shortcut that, right? From the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread. We cannot, don't matter how bright we are, how educated we are, we cannot escape that. Even the brightest doctor, the brightest engineer, the brightest whatever field they are in, best help public health specialists still have to go there and work in order to
Yeah,
make a difference in the community and with people and so on. And
yeah,
then, you know, when I look at the doctors, for example, I didn't realize that doctors work so long and so hard, you know, and
the-
in school is being taught that doctor, get to a doctor, that's a prestigious position. No one ever tells you how long their shifts are and that they are always on call. And you know, once there's emergency declared, especially in mass casualty and so on, they can just go home, they might get pulled back out. You know, and you know, it is a lot of dignity, and I really love that what you said. Those two things I'm going to actually hold on to them, you know, and money is sweeter from the sweat. That is so true. And I hope that persons who had the opportunity and will get the opportunity to listen to this interview would take that away as well, you know. And you know, you have done so much. You could have chosen to do even one single thing and you would have still made it. But I noticed you have created a multiple stream income. And the beautiful thing about it is that you have not done it just for yourself, but you have also done it for others. And you have a very good understanding of the challenges in your community, particularly in your gender. And you're not just standing on the corner and pointing at them, but you are actually creating solutions for these women. And I want to add to you another title or position. You are now a social entrepreneur. I don't even know if you realize that, right? You are a social entrepreneur, and you have been doing that for 5 years, and it is amazing what you are doing. And even in an environment where you say it is hard to get funding, you are even reinvesting some of your income to help other people get started, particularly women and so on. And
yeah.
that is Zealand. That business has a really well-rounded vision, and I guess that is because we have a woman as the CEO, right? I think that is it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give that one today. That is because a woman is the CEO. And yeah,
Thank
women would understand the challenges more than men. They may get a better understanding of a lot of the detailed challenges that people will face, especially women more than even men would. And it is very good that you took that and you put that into practice. And I just pray that that it will continue to be very profitable. It will be prosperous for you, and that you would always be happy for making this decision. And
Amen.
yes, I want to see it become, as we say, work smarter rather than harder. And we
Yeah.
are Constructive Solution Inc. is going to work with you in terms of helping you to formalize your factory and so on, and in terms of the direction to go. But that is one of the things I would love to see happen now. In terms, like, I want to see you now sitting in the CEO seat, and building the other people coming up to also run the different areas, the logistics, the production, so that you can because you've been working very hard straight out of university. You did a master's and then into this work again, and you're still an educator. You work really, really, really hard. And that is
Thank
so admirable, and we are
thank
honored to have you with us today, World Food Day 2022. Now, it would be a miss of me that we took so much knowledge from you, and then people don't know how to work with you if they want to work with you. So, how can people do business with you? How would they be able to get in touch with you? We have your handles here, and you have
Yeah.
Facebook,
uh,
Surreal.Bona Foods and Shea Butter Limited, right?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
tell us about where other places we can reach you.
You can our social media platforms are very responsive. We respond to your messages almost immediately, or maximum 1 hour. So you can reach us on Facebook. Our handle is cereal dot bonafoods. The address is there. Then you can mail us. Then on TikTok, we're there. Beatrice, Bona, Gansari. That's the handle. Then on WhatsApp, the contact is there. So directly you can reach us on WhatsApp. That's the fastest medium to reach us. WhatsApp on plus 234 9022568134. WhatsApp. You can call us, or you can send a message on WhatsApp, Facebook, email or TikTok. But if you want to get the fastest response, WhatsApp is faster with us. So plus 234 9022568134. So that's our WhatsApp number.
Okay, very good. So now we know how to get hold of you. There's WhatsApp, there's TikTok, there is Facebook, and there is also Gmail, bonayari14@gmail.com. So we want to again say thank you so much. I know that we can talk about your business more and more and more, but I know that you are a very busy woman. And with the time differences also, I know it is already approaching late evening. And, we want to really say thank you so much again, Beatrice,
Thank you.
Bona, and Zari. I have to take my time and pronounce these African names. You know, um, you have a really good vision, and I just pray that you will continue with it. And we look forward to probably a follow-up interview at some time, so that we can know how you have been doing since we have had this interview here on the road to victory. I have been your host, Dr. Ashley John, and I look forward to interviewing you and other persons who are in business. We are specialists in developing employable entrepreneurial people. We have a program facing the giants of abuse, which also deals with women in abuse and any gender in abuse. Children is also. We look at love, relationships, and marriage. We offer therapeutic counseling, and we do sustainable development project management. So, you know, we do a whole lot for persons like yourself, and it really excites me and inspires me to see that you have taken on such a mantle. So we're saying goodbye to you now, and we look forward to yet another session with you at another time. So thank you
Thank,
so much again.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
You
Thank
are
you.
most welcome.